Welcome back, everyone. My name is John Rose, and I am going to show you how to set up your gradebook in the new campus instruction interface. Go ahead and log into Infinite Campus, and when you log in, you will see this. Over on the left-hand side now, the menu has all of your options that are available to teachers only. Okay, you can see the second one down is Gradebook, so go ahead and click on Gradebook. Now, the cool thing about this new gradebook is that all of the settings that you need to set up your gradebook and to manage assignments are all within the gradebook, right here under this tab called Settings. So go ahead and click that little blue tab called Settings, and you'll see it slides open, and here we have links to everything that we need. So we're going to start first with the grade scale. Click on the grade scale link, and this box is going to open up for you. And you can see here we have some grade scales that are already created. Now in this case there should be 3 that are default, and these are created by the district, and you have basic, MVUSD standard, and regular. To check these out, you just simply click on them and they will open up, and then you can see what that grade scale, how that grade scale is set up. If you like it, that's great. If you like one of these 3, then that's great. You're all set, and you can go ahead and click close and move on. If you don't like one of these 3 and you want to create your own grading scale, then you're going to click this Add button right down here. And when you click Add, you're going to give your grade scale a name, and then you're going to simply start adding rows. The first row will be the top grade, so let's say we want to do pluses on this. So I'm going to put an A+. The minimum percentage is the lowest grade percentage that will assign this grade. So in this particular instance, I'm going to put 97%. And then the grade is what actually shows up in the grade book. So we want to obviously make that an A+. Now, this option right here where it says passing, this has nothing to do with calculations or how the grade book adds grades up. All this has to do with is the visual. There is an option called pass-fail color coding, and what it does is it will color code passing grades as green and non-passing grades as red. Just a quick indicator to the teacher: if a student has lots of red, then that means obviously they're failing in a lot of assignments. So you're just going to go ahead and check mark this for all of the passing grades and leave it unchecked for non-passing grades. So continue adding rows, and then your last row should always be the F, and you want to make sure that the percentage is set to 0. And then assign it F, and like I said, leave this unchecked for a failing grade. When you're finished, click Save, and your new grading scale is now complete. Go ahead and click Close, and let's move on to Step 2. Step 2 is to create categories. So you're going to click on the Categories link, and here you can see I have nothing listed here. So I am going to create categories. Now, there are 2 ways to do this. If you're going to do total points method, which is total points earned divided by total points possible, you're going to create one category called assignments. If you want to do weighting, then you're going to create several categories, and you're going to assign a weight to each one of those categories. For our first example, let's go ahead and just create one called assignments. This would be for total points method, and you're going to put the weight at 100%. And then you want to assign this to all of your classes. So go ahead and click this check mark box that's right above all the rest of the classes listed, and it will check mark all of them for you. And then scroll down. I know it doesn't look like there's anything under there, but you do have to scroll down. And then you are going to check mark the box that says End of Term Grade. This is where we're going to be keeping all of our grades in the end of term grading task or spreadsheet. Okay, after you do this, go ahead and click Save. And there we go. We can see here that we have now the assignment. Now, if you were doing weighting, you would then add another category. For example, let's call this homework. And maybe I want homework to account for 20% of my grade. I'm going to apply it to all of my classes, and I'm going to scroll down, and I'm going to apply it to the end of term spreadsheet or grading task. Click Save, and you will see you're going to start building this list right here. You can always go back and change the weighting on any one of these. by simply typing in it. And when you're done with this, you're going to click Save and then Close. All right, so we have done grading scales. We've set up our categories for weighting or for total points method. Now the last option is to add up how our gradebook is going to calculate grades. And you want to click on this link right here that says Grade Calc Options. Now when you click on this for the very first time, a message is going to pop up, and I can't remember exactly what the message says, but it's going to have a Continue button down here. Go ahead and click Continue, and then you will end up to this screen. Here, very simple, you're going to simply click on this pull down under Calculation Type and go to In Progress Grade, and then you're going to assign the grade scale you want to use with this particular class. Okay, if you created a new one, go ahead and choose that, or if you wanted to use one of the 3 basic ones. As soon as you do that, you're all set. Now, if you chose weighting instead of total points, you're going to click on this check mark box, and that will indicate to the gradebook that you are using weighting. This option right here, which is a very confusing one for most people, use scores percent value. Do not check mark this unless you know exactly what you're doing. This does affect grades pretty seriously. It uses the percent value instead of actual points. So this is something you need to research before you actually turn this on and use it. As soon as you're done with that, go ahead and click Save. You do need to do the grade calc option for each one of your classes. So after you're done with that, you come up here, click and change the class period to your next class. Click on grade calc option and then do the same thing for each one of your classes. You're going to set it up, click Save, and then move on to the next period. There is one thing that you need to set that is extremely important. Up here, above the gradebook window, you have these 3 pull downs. This option you're very familiar with because this changes the class period. This option right here displays the terms, and we are going to be keeping all of our grades in Q2 for first semester and Q4 for second semester. We will almost never checkmark or go to Q1 or Q3 on this particular menu. So make sure you set this to Q2 for first semester and Q4 for second semester, and then make sure that the task is set to end of term. That will now display our end of term spreadsheet, which is where all of our grades are going to be held. And you can see here we have our categories already. Assignments and homework, the 2 categories that I created, are right here. As soon as you set these, it will remain set for the remainder of the school year. It's not something you have to redo every single time you open your gradebook. That's it. Your gradebook is now ready to use.